This is Andi Purewal for Boxing Social, and I'm delighted to be joined by heavyweight Fabio Wardley. Fabio, how you doing?
I'm good. How's things, mate? All good?
I'm all good, thanks. It's good to hear you're doing well. Thanks for coming back as well. I know you just shot off. Talk to me about your return to the ring on Friday night, though. Looking forward to getting back out there, this time in Nottingham.
Yeah, definitely. New venue, somewhere different for me to try, a little bit further up north from me, so it's nice. It's what I've been wanting to do, is just get around a bit, different fights, different types of opponents, different venues, just try and get as much experience in very different departments as I can. So yeah, I'm looking forward to putting on a show for the Nottingham fans.
Now, talk to me about Lewandowski. Obviously, up on the scales today, we could see that he's a bit more on the larger side, weighing in over 21 stone. What do you know about him as a fighter, though?
It's a difficult circumstance because looks can be deceiving. Like you look at him aesthetically, he's not pleasing at all. He looks like he's just rolled off the sofa to come and lay down for a payday thing. But I can assure you, he's not like that. If you look at his record, he's only lost 3 fights to 3 very good opponents. One of them being Thomas Schwartz. He went 10 rounds with Thomas Schwartz, who was obviously Fury's next opponent. So he's a decent guy. He just doesn't look as aesthetically pleasing. Probably could train a bit harder and things like that. But ultimately, he has those boxing skills, and he has won quite a few fights, a lot by knockout. So he's a dangerous opponent.
Talk about the plan for the fight then. How do you expect it to play out as the rounds tick over, or if any rounds tick over, that is?
I leave all the game plans and things to my team. Me more so, I like to adapt on the job kind of thing and take it as it comes, throw a few pokes and a few pointers out there, see how he reacts, see how he responds, and see what I can do with that. That's really how I base all of my fights. I'm always looking for the gaps. So in the early stages, I'll be poking him and prodding him and just seeing where they open up, and then I'll build from there, really.
So talk to me about your progression for the rest of this year. I know Eddie in the press conference yesterday said that he sees you being only 2 or 3 fights away from the likes of Dubois, Joe Joyce, Gorman, etc. 2 of which were announced to fight earlier this morning. But just talk about yourself and your progression. How far off from those fights do you see yourself?
Maybe a bit more, probably 5 or 6, something like that. Probably not too far off, but if you have a look now, like what's Daniel on? He's probably on about 11 fights, I think. Gorman's on about 16. So they're now only having their first big fight. So they're both in double figures. So I think at least when I ease in a bit as well, you have to think them boys come from a long amateur background as well. I don't have that type of experience. So I need to, as much as I'm eager and I want to chase them boys and I want to be behind them, I need to be smart, bide my time, do this properly, do it the right way, and just get as much experience as I can along the way before I start diving into those big fights.
And obviously, I briefly touched on it earlier on. Daniel Dubois and Nathan Gorman announced a British heavyweight title. Your thoughts?
Great fight. Something that's probably the right time to be made right now. I think a lot of people would have asked for it a bit earlier, but I think they've both had their development time, the build-up time. So I think it's a very good time for that fight to come through. Yeah, definitely.
Who would you pick?
I knew that one was coming. I tell you what, it's a very 50-50 fight. There's 2 sides to a coin, really. You've got the puncher, someone who can definitely bang. So if he catches you 9 times out of 10, you're going down. And then you've got the real boxer who's slick and can move and can dig you 5 or 6 times before you've even known. So if I was a betting man, and maybe more so due to a bit of preference as well, probably because I like his style and I relate to him a bit more, I'd pick Nathan Gorman.
And just to move away from that fight, obviously being managed by Dillian Whyte, we've recently had his fight announced against Rivas at the O2. What was your thoughts on that one?
Great fight, fantastic fight, and a dangerous fight as well, which a lot of people in boxing will know. Oscar Rivas is a very dangerous contender. He's got a lot about him. He comes from a good amateur background, well schooled, so he's a good and tough opposition. But again, like you're seeing a lot probably with boxing lately, with the casual fans, they'll look at him and be, well, I've never heard his name before. I haven't heard him do this, I haven't heard him do that, so maybe it's just another walkthrough. But I think, 1, if you know your boxing, and 2, if you know Dillian as well, as to be the type of person not to take those type of easy fights, you know it's going to be a good tear-up.
Well, Fabio, I appreciate your time, appreciate you coming back to see me as well.
No
so thank you for speaking to Boxing Social.
Appreciate it, mate, thank you.